All right, how do we start these things again?
I believe we welcome people.
Hello, one and all.
And then we tell them who we are.
I'm Patrick Bateman.
I'm Peter Michaels.
We did that different?
We were supposed to do it the other way around.
This is the road, the stage.
That's our ego intro.
Right, exactly. I am who I am, and no one else matters. How's your summer going?
It's been flying by, man. It's been hot and great. Smoke, as it has been affecting pretty much all of the western provinces, and I think Ontario's...
Yeah, Ontario wildfire is pretty serious right now. The weird thing that I've noticed this week is that I don't smell the smoke, but I can see it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
100%. And it's weird because even this morning when I got up, I opened the blinds and I'm like, it's like a dreary day. Well, it's not. It's just it's dark because it is so smoky. Yeah. But luckily the smell isn't quite there.
So this is episode, 17?
17.
And it's been a crazy few weeks. We both have like vacations planned and stuff, and both busy with our actual jobs. Of course, busy with the road, the stage, but we've also recently seen some live music. Not together.
Well, we kind of like the Shred Kelly.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, that's right.
That memorable.
We saw Shred Kelly, which was actually very good.
I actually told you a joke and you laughed like for a long time afterwards, but I guess it didn't.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Maybe was it after 9 p.m.?
Might have been after.
That would explain.
It's probably after.
But I also saw a really cool showcase of local bands.
That's right.
A couple weeks ago, and then you just saw guests of our side road sessions, the Static Shift on the weekend, right?
Then there was a couple local bands
the
Friday night, and then the Static Shift and JJ Shiplet, some Calgary bands that came up on Saturday, and it's just so good.
Felt good.
Although you know what, I'm out of shape. Musically out of shape.
What do you mean?
Well, because I do typically wear earplugs for shows now, especially getting on in years, and I've abused them pretty good over the years. So I've just become accustomed to using earplugs. But that first show back, I didn't, and paid for it the next morning.
Really?
And then the other thing that you forget too, and I remember we actually talked to Tyler from Said the Whale about it, is you elevate your voice so much when you're in a louder room and talking.
Yeah, that's
and
the
all
worst.
it took was a couple hours, and my voice was just about shot on Saturday, just with that elevated. So I'm out of shape. I'm out of concert shape.
I remembered I was talking to my girlfriend the other day, and it's like, man, I haven't chewed gum in a long time. Like, why? I used to chew gum all the time. And I realized it's because I would always have gum. I always wanted gum going to shows because I don't love yelling at people.
Yeah.
And then you have to get up a little close.
God, I wish everybody was as thoughtful as you.
You're drinking beers. You're smoking this and that. You need some refreshment. So I'm going to have to remember what it's like to buy gum again now that we're seeing some live music.
Yeah, and much, much, much more to come. Things are opening up.
Pretty fast.
Pretty fast.
So, I mean, if you aren't listening to us from Alberta, then you probably are like, wait, they went to live music? They saw concerts that, you weren't sitting in your cars or standing in bubbles?
No, yeah.
Nope.
No distancing, no.
So get your damn vaccine. That's what I have to say.
Yes.
Who do we have joining us tonight? That is not the guest.
That is not the guest. We have producers Ryan and Ryley.
Hell yeah.
They're chilling.
We got some bottles here, too.
Very special bottles there. Big
Sawback Brewing Co. What
shout
up?
out to Sawback. Go Services Inc., who they're taking a liking to you. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but
it's because I like toilets. I like bathrooms. I like porta potties.
King of the porta potty world. Shout out to Tourism Red Deer, who, did you see what they unleashed in Red Deer this week?
No, remind me.
Some friends. They've got goats out trimming the lawn.
Bees. Okay.
The goats are out there making Red Deer look beautiful.
I did not know that Red Deer was at a point where we were using wild animals to trim the lawns.
How long have you been here? Of course.
Have they been here for a long time?
Yeah.
I think Calgary just started doing it like 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not anything new. We have backyard chickens, right?
Yes. Okay. Well, yeah, but aren't there some weird laws with that?
I don't know.
Aren't you only allowed to have 13, no fewer, no more?
Actually, that is correct. Yes, that is. So you've looked into it.
Yes, 13 chickens here in Red Deer, Alberta.
So, shout out to Sawback, Go Services Inc., Tourism Red Deer, and Bo's Bar and Stage.
Of course, where we saw those shows. Now, I've never seen our guests tonight at Bo's. I have had a beer or two with them at Bo's.
Yes.
But we're talking tonight to Jonny and Renee from the Standstills from Oshawa, Ontario.
So they've had 2 shows for sure at Beau's. One with the Lazies, and then another they opened for Sebastian Bach.
Right. I forgot. Did we talk about that?
I think it does.
We have talked about that.
We've talked about it for sure.
That must have been
And then
wild.
their most recent show out here was the Tail Creek Mud and Music Festival and Outdoor show, which we
definitely talked about because that is very memorable.
Very memorable opening to that show.
I was going through the episode the other night, and like that story is unbelievable. I really love how open and transparent they are about it too.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Standstills, and they're just really fabulous people.
Amazing people.
So thank you so much for joining us, everyone, one and all, on this week's episode of The Road to the Stage.
Boom. Let's do it.
Okay, let's talk about something to do. We talked just over a year ago. I went back and watched that interview, and quite honestly, you guys were in a process of writing music, which you guys seemed kind of all right with everything that, staying home and getting to work. And it was kind of inspiring. I know you guys were talking about the ability to write music at home, and you were getting more done than you thought you may have previously. How are you feeling now?
Oh,
good. Yeah, the record's in the mix.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we grew so much during this period as artists and writers, and it's just so excited for everybody to hear what we've come up with. And this album that we put together, we were able to spend so much time on the concept of it, and then juggling around with so many different song ideas and different recordings, and then just we pushed ourselves. I know for me, I pushed myself vocally more than I've ever done.
Drums too.
Yeah, and the drum, Renee's playing on this is unreal compared to the stuff that we've done before.
I don't even know where it came from.
It was just us constantly pushing because we had the time, and I think it's just incredible, for us, and I'm super proud of it. I can't wait for people to hear it. Our label is just over the moon about it. Our management, everybody just thinks it's we couldn't have done any better. They just love it so much too. But now that I've oversold it like crazy, it's gonna come out and everyone's gonna be like,
just once I'd love to hear an artist say, "How do you feel about your new music?" It's not as good as our old stuff.
Yeah.
Total bummer, man. Yeah, no, that's sweet. I'm super happy to hear that. That sounds like a really exciting position to be in after spending so much time on it. And I noticed recently, you've been in the studio a lot over the last few months, right?
We really have, yeah. Mm-hmm. We were just at Revolution for a charity event that's coming up in 2 weeks. But we just keep finding ourselves in the studio at some point or another. So.
And is there any dangers in having that much time to focus on it? Sometimes you'd be working on a project and maybe you get stuck in a spot and you can kind of just go somewhere else and relax and get your frame of mind reset again. But there really wasn't anywhere else to go for the last year and a half. So you were pretty much in it the whole time. Is there any dangers to that? Is there anything that maybe went wrong that you couldn't get away for a little bit?
I would say if it was just the two of us, and I would say that there's probably dangers to just spending way too much time on the material. But because we worked it as a team with Neil Sanderson producing for us, it added there was that relief because it was that third person who was there the whole time, as we were working as a team, which was a different dynamic this time around than prior. We did work a lot with the producer last time, but not as long on the project. Or hands-on. And so and this time using somebody different was very unique. It had a unique dynamic to it, and Neil is he's such a good writer, and he knows so much about song structuring, and like he's got a really keen ear for different things that we haven't really been able to discuss in further detail, because we had the time to do it now. So we really kind of like picked his brain on a lot of stuff, and so he was really amazing, and he was pushing us like the whole time, like just like, we need this to be better, need to get this, like, you know, let's work on these lyrics a little bit more, or just different stuff like that. So it was like a massive growth project, I guess. Like that sounds painful.
It sounds like
a massive growth that we had removed.
It sounds like you had some like legitimate studio therapy or some creative therapy over the last year.
Yeah. A lot of laughing too, which was great.
That's great.
And luckily we caught a lot of that on film, so I'm sure there'll be a little video later down the road of all that.
I'm curious with working with Neil. You know, some producers, you know, kind of have, when they're with a band, they can kind of bring their sound into other projects. And 3 Days Grace kind of has a sound that's really been copied a lot. So does Neil just kind of work with the sound that you guys have, or does he try to, you know, steer it towards some 3 Days Grace kind of sounds?
I think because we were kind of his first full producer credit, I think we were his first for the full album. So this was kind of very new for him too. I like, he did have a lot of influence, but as far as like the sound of the album, I think we have a very unique thing, and we did a very unique thing. And I like, as much as we are still steering in that same kind of hard rock direction, which is kind of where we've always sat really, but I don't feel like it doesn't sound like a 3 Days Grace record. It sounds like a Standstills record.
Yeah.
But it is a cool collaboration because of his ability to write songs is unbelievable. So you will see that bump in our songwriting as a whole, because just that collaboration was just such a great marriage in this record.
He had this different perspective. So he never like stepped on anything we were doing, and like bringing anything like that would be something more 3 Days Grace style. Like he really spent time with the music that we were kind of sending him, and then we would always look at which pieces that we would send him. How do we make this the best it can be? So first he would just kind of like listen to it and be like, I'm not really feeling these ones, but this one's really special. Let's spend some time on this one. And then we would just really like buckle down on that one song. But he spent a lot of time just like looking at different aspects of what we've done in the past, and then looking at what he really liked the most and what he thinks are kind of like our stronger points, and pressing on those way more on this album than what we've done in the past. So it was more like he was just trying to get the best version of us without us sounding like 3 Days Grace. Like we're not 3 Days Grace, so you know, it wouldn't make sense for us to try to force that. You know, we've established our sound and different things we've done, and so we really looked at that, like what are the songs that people love the most, and let's do more of that, and just make sure that we're not going to go off of, you know, being the best version or putting forward the best version of ourselves for this one.
It's still very genuine to us and our taste in music. Do I look like I have a glam fan on me right now? Because that's what I feel.
We got a fan going over here.
Well, you guys just had a bit of a drought, didn't you?
You're supposed to have.
The cat might make an appearance at some point.
We're hoping for it.
Only hope.
He's already tried twice.
I have to say that is like a remarkable endorsement of a producer, but also just a description of a producer's role and kind of obligations that I don't often hear described as eloquently as you guys just did. So,
thanks, man.
Yeah, that's
love the partnership part of it, right?
Well, just like, you know, looking back into the past, picking what this person with their expertise believes to be your trademarks, your strong suit, and then how to adapt that into the future with what you want to do going forward. That's I can't say I've heard that description of a production role too often. So
Yeah.
I
Sounds
think
great.
we're really lucky to have had this time to work with him. Like we did, so we co-wrote our single "Wild" together with Neil.
Okay.
And that's where the relationship started. And we always knew that there was something really special about our bond with him. And because we've done a little bit of co-writing and stuff in the past, but that was like one day we put that song together, and we were just like, wow, it was like,
you guys had a demo ready that night.
It was like the dynamic of this. It's like, this is something special, and we've always wanted to revisit working with him again. So this time around, it's just been like, we're just like, fuck yeah, we got the time to, like, Neil's not on the road, and he was all thumbs up, and it was just like, we were so excited about that. So.
And what is this? Is this his personal studio? That's not the one you were talking about earlier with the charity event, right?
No, so we did work a little bit out of his place, which isn't too far from where we live, but the album was recorded in Jukasa, which is just kind of around the Hamilton area.
Okay.
It's on an Indigenous reserve, which makes it very special.
Yeah, it looks like a cool
unbelievable studio too. It's really top notch. Like they have like one of the Neve consoles from Abbey Road.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, with like Lennon's signature on the inside. They actually,
no, it says "Rest in Peace, John Lennon," but like someone carved it in right after he passed away.
No, I thought he actually signed it. No. Didn't they have this? Okay, maybe I got that story wrong. I'll have to research.
I like Johnny's story better. Let's go with Johnny's.
John Lennon carved "Rest in Peace."
Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
100%.
Someone was gonna research it.
I think John Lennon signed it. I'm pretty sure there's McCartney's blood on there somewhere.
Elvis, Chuck Berry. Yeah.
Chuck Berry.
The story just gets bigger and bigger every time you tell it.
Yeah.
Anyways, special board.
Yeah.
No, I saw some pictures. It looked like a really cool place that you guys were spending time.
Yeah, it was
some nature.
Like a theater in there.
And
the team too, the engineers that work out of that studio are just so top notch. Like, it was such a pleasure to work with them too. They were just incredible people, but they were on such a higher level. They worked with a lot of really big acts and stuff. So it was really cool to see what they were bringing to the table. And there was a lot of like little boutique-y things we were adding into the recording, and they were so great at that stuff and bringing that in. And like, it was this album is such a great team effort with them, with Neil. And I think that's why we feel it's so special, because it's just like, it's more than just us. It's everybody else who we were able to work with. It was just unbelievable, and such a big part of it.
Just so eager for you guys to hear it.
I was just gonna say, so like,
how long do we have to wait?
Yeah,
but like I said,
sending it now.
Yeah.
But that's
I'm
gonna
really
be
overselling it here. I don't want to oversell it too much. Like, it's okay, guys. It's not that great.
All right, so are we ready to start the interview? Can we start the interview now?
Just give us a quick recap of what you just said in that last 10 minutes, and it'll be fine.
Seriously though, are we like, do you what are we looking at, a Q1 2022, or you guys have a time of year booked, planned?
So we wanted to wait until the mixes were fully done. We just put the album in order, actually, which is kind of a big deal, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Big milestone. So once that's all done, then the full marketing plan will be put together. And like, you really have to take your time with the marketing plan, right? Because it's really important how you release it and when you release it. So I don't have any answers yet as to when, but I mean, soon.
So how do you stay sane? Because it seems like you're excited about this. How do you stay sane during this next phase where it's there, it's done, you want it, you want everybody to hear it, but now you got to sit on it?
I think it's just like, our manager calling us like every other day with little bits of good news of what's coming down the pipe and stuff. So that's kind of what keeps us going. But then that's just more stuff building that we can't talk about too. So
we're gonna start rehearsing it all now too. So now we're in the next phase of like, okay, let's get behind a PA and start jamming it and recreating a lot of the sounds and the moments that changed while we were in the studio that we were adding into the studio. So that process takes quite a while, like to just get everything right when there's a lot of bits and pieces. But that's like, yeah, so that's like a huge part of what we're going to be doing in the next little while.
And then we'll get you guys in here into this beautiful new space we've got in Red Deer next time you're through town.
Are you actually at Bose right now? It kind of looks like it.
No, we are not.
There's pieces of Bose that have made their way into this studio.
Table looks...
This table we may have sat around this very table
this
at
could
some
be the
point.
One. Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's possible. This is from Bose, absolutely. This was a project that was hatched by, I don't know if you remember Ryan from Bose, who kind of runs the sound there.
Yes.
But him and our video producer, Ryley, they kind of built the space, and then we said, oh, this looks like a cool corner.
A neat little spot for us to do some things.
Yeah.
Logo's sick. I really like that.
Oh, thank you. I didn't make it.
Of course. It's great beer.
Yeah. So we're very excited to have you on or in here whenever you guys are in town next, because we have this giant green screen wall.
Oh, the stuff we could put behind.
So bring your favorite superhero tights and your guitar, and we'll make some magic.
So many to choose from.
So many make-out shots of the
Yeah, exactly.
So while you guys are waiting for this next phase to jump in, you became parents to some pigeon chicks recently. Is that you've got?
Are you following that story?
You've got some pigeons to raise.
Yeah, doves.
Yeah.
Oh, are they doves? Is that what it is?
Really? Yeah. First of all, they're doves.
Doves.
This interview's over. They're not the pigeons. They're doves.
Their names are Lucy and Pompidou. They're a couple.
Yeah, they've been shagging on our patio for a while, and they keep coming back to have babies. So,
yeah.
Although my cat got at one today. That wasn't so.
Oh no! Was there a war? Was there a battle?
No, I think
he has no teeth, so he just
circle of life.
Sucks on them.
Gums them.
Just gums them.
What's your cat's name?
Ichabod.
Okay, so you got Ichabod and Pompidou and Lucy. Is that it?
Yeah.
All right,
but they're Pompidou and Lucy.
Okay.
And they had 2 babies already, which were Penelope and
Johnny loves to name birds.
Pringle and Penelope. It was a boy and a girl.
And they're gone now?
They're gone.
Oh, they leave the nest so quick.
Sorry, they're not gender specific, so we don't know what they are.
That's fair.
But that was their names.
So
they're gone. Now we have 2 new babies.
That's all that's exciting in the.
Is this
we can talk about this. This is great.
Is this like the official bird of Oshawa? Is the dove?
The morning dove.
I think it's the seagull.
Which people often refer to as the shithawk.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, totally.
I think that's universal.
I think that's a good name for a band, the Shithawks.
It's gotta be. There's
gotta be. We've got the Jayhawks. There's got to be the Shithawks.
Was Jayhawks? Was that Ronnie? No. Who were the Jayhawks? Was it Ron? It wasn't Ronnie Hawkins, was it?
Not Ronnie Hawkins. No, it was. I can picture him in my head.
This is like old doo-wop, right?
Yeah, goes back a ways.
Back to the 1930s. Depression era music.
I can totally tell by telling what these guys have been talking about. That's what this new album is going to be.
I'm
full new sound for the Standstills.
We just asked them about their studio time. You didn't ask your question.
What was my question?
About the recording process.
Oh, my favorite question to ask.
Favorite question.
I do have a favorite question to ask.
Have you heard the White Buffalo?
Did you duet with the White Buffalo? No. Has there ever been an instrument that you guys brought in to record that just didn't work? Something crazy that you thought, let's give this a try. This weird, strange instrument, and it just didn't go.
How about a weird one that did fit?
Yeah.
Or did.
That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, sure.
Can we add that in there?
Yes.
Because it was when we listened back and we were like, this is bonkers.
We're keeping it.
We're keeping it.
We have a washboard solo.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
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 It's pretty bonkers.
So what conversation led to, would it sound good right there? How does that come up?
I think it was a percussive thing. We're like, we need something to add to the percussive beat of what's going on, and then it just.
There was a guy in Peterborough. He was, I forget his washboard gym or something like that. Oh yeah,
that's the story.
And so Neil used to go see this guy like all the time, and it was just like a whole night of washboard.
No,
and like,
I thought he was homeless. Wasn't he just someone on the street?
No. He was playing gigs. So yeah, I mean that's pretty close to homeless if you're a musician. But yeah, he's like so he's this guy in Peterborough who would just like, everybody knew this washboard guy, and they'd see him like at different places, and Neil would go out. And so we were talking about that, and they had one in the studio, and we're like, let's pull it. So we started to like think about what song.
Oh yeah, we were making it fit too. We were like, which song should we put it on?
Where could this thing work? And then when it got laid down, we're like, oh my God, this fits.
So was it something that you just picked up right away and you were a natural washboard player? Or did it take a little bit of practice to get the flow right?
This one actually will not be credited to us on this record.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was all Neil. Neil crushed it. He was like, I've never seen a person like, so the washboard's so like hard on the hands, and he's got like these drummer hands, so he's like beating his hands on this thing, and like my hands they'd be ripped apart. Like I don't have hands like his, so he took the role and jumped in there. And then like by the end though, like when he was playing, like his like fingernail was like melted from the heat of just it right down.
Yeah. We had shared a story when we first did it, because he was holding it like a guitar, and he had like his hat on backwards and was just like soloing a guitar. It was the funniest thing.
Damn.
Anyways,
if we could get Renee, can you just hold your hands up to the camera so we can see exactly what drummer hands are? As just described by, would you describe Renee's hands as drummer hands, Johnny?
They're drummer
Those
hands.
are drummer hands. Okay, so good. We got a clear vision of what drummer hands are.
I guess that doesn't make, but he had the biggest drummer hands in the group.
So this is an upcoming washboard solo that we'll eventually be able to hear. Is this old?
It's laid down. It's in the album. So now it'll be the trick. You guys have to see if you can figure out where it is.
Why didn't you lead the new album sell with the washboard part, Johnny?
With the washboard solo song?
You guys, we're super happy about this album, but before we even talk about that, we've got a washboard
That's how
solo.
good this album is, that the washboard solo can get buried a little bit.
That's well, I'm very excited to hear that new music. I'm also stoked to see that you guys have a show coming up.
Yes.
Still a whiles away. Is that September? Is that Churro show your first one since? Wow.
It'll be our first to an audience live show. Yeah.
Crazy. It's the fourth annual Rock the Hub in Nova Scotia, right?
Yeah, it's such a good time.
You've been there.
Yeah, you guys played the last one.
Yeah, actually we did. Yeah. It feels like forever ago, but because of the pandemic, pushing everything. But yeah, this promoter has this great ability to bring all these bands who are all friends together. I don't know if he's deliberately doing it, but it just makes for an amazing festival because it's all friends. Like you'll see like this person from this band getting up on stage with this band, and like that just happens all the time there. Like it's just so much fun. And then just being backstage there is just a riot. Like you'll see bands carry, like everyone stays for the whole weekend. So we'll just all go to each other's shows. And
I had some friends of mine that went 2 years ago. Would have been that last one.
Really?
From Sylvan that went and said it was just a party. And is it the promoter also owns the hotel that's nearby or something? Is that, am I dreaming that up? He owns something.
Owns a brewery and a few restaurants.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, you'll see. Usually the after party ends up at one of those spots.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's a ton of fun. Like the whole weekend is just so, the vibe of it was just incredible the last time, and we just can't wait to get back into that. It's. I just hope it's not going to get emotional.
I mean, I was looking at it. It kind of seems like there's plenty of opportunity for that because it's your first show back in a long time. Plus, you're going to be playing to an audience that is like super, super eager for what you guys are doing. But yeah, you're also there that day. You're playing with like Monster Truck, Big Wreck, and OLP. Most of those, if not all, you've had experiences with before, right?
Yeah.
So you're hitting the stage again for the first time in, what, a year and a half, almost 2 years, really, with people you know. That's got to be special.
Yeah,
it is nuts. Very special, and we're like, it's right now we're looking forward to that so much, and it's like that's one of the other things that keeps us going is having little moments like that, and just like, you know, it was hard to see when that was going to happen. It's so many periods during this pandemic that it's just like, I don't know if we're gonna fucking get back on stage. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Nobody knew what was gonna happen, and now the fact that we can see it and it's in front of us and it's just like weeks away, it's like it really is like lighting a fire in us to want to just put on the greatest performance of our lives. And you know what I mean? Like, just like, this is it. Like, it's like true, like we're so eager to get up there and do what we do. And so I think it's going to be something very special, or really terrible, because it's been so long.
Wow, that went great the other way.
I mean, I'm guessing you'll get it figured out. It's going to be good.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
I know we've talked about it. I know we've talked about it before, but I apologize if it doesn't make you, if you can't look back on it humorously, but I always think about that Tail Creek show out here when,
oh God,
was it Johnny, you didn't know the show was starting, like, or
was it it was a last minute bathroom break?
This is what happened. There was like something, I don't know which act it was, but there was it was like the setup and all that stuff got pushed so far.
Right.
Like, then we were like the first ones up, so it looked like we were the pieces of shit. Like, we were like backstage with all our shit. Like, we got to get this stuff on stage, and it was like we had no time to get up there and try to like at least plug in and make sure stuff is working.
Yeah, I remember a sound guy. I could hear him in the monitor. He's like, kick drum, and the guy's like, nope, no time.
No time.
Unbelievable.
He's like, no.
We were just like, oh my God, like, do you want us to perform? Or like,
and I think
even backstage though, like Danko was sweating. Like, he's like, what is going on? Like, we're all just like, this is crazy.
And my memory's terrible, but Renee, you were up there you're like by yourself for like a good, what, like 10, yeah, it was like 5-10 minutes.
It felt like a long time.
We didn't communicate what was going on, but the guy didn't ask him if he was ready, and he didn't have his in-ears. Everything was in the trailer. Like, he still had to go back to his trailer and get ready. So at that point, he goes to me, he's like, all right, good to go. And I'm like, I mean, I guess. And then he went up there, and then I'm like, oh my God, where's Johnny?
Yeah, it was just, there was
still putting on a shirt.
Yeah, there was no communication. We were like being pulled in different directions, like chickens with our heads cut off.
It was interesting.
That's how the show started.
But then from there, everything went smooth, and that was a pretty kick-ass show.
Well, not exactly.
Show.
I mean,
it was pretty good.
Your set was great, but you got like really sick after, Renee, didn't you?
Oh yeah,
heat stroke.
They thought it was heat stroke or something. Yeah, I was laid out for the night.
Yeah.
It's probably the stress of the pre-show trying to get on stage, and it's like, go here, do this, no time. What? It's like, does my guitar work? Forget about it.
Yeah, I will never forget just seeing Renee just like you're by yourself, just sitting behind the kit on this big old stage.
My nightmares, guys.
In my nightmares. Never again.
Drum solo yelling. I was like, oh.
Again. But it's good.
I felt like leaving. I'm like, you know what? I'm leaving too.
It's like,
I'll be back.
So where does
I felt like we were being tested. Like, can you go through all of this and then still put on a performance?
Still be a band.
Without being so in your head, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, yeah. So I hope we passed the test. Because we got through it, but it almost killed Renee.
No.
Oh, you guys handled it like pros. In the hierarchy of stage mishaps, is that top of the list, or have you guys had others that can that's number? We can lay claim to that here in Alberta, the number one,
the tip top.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have to ever bring it up again.
Let's bring up.
Go lay down, guys.
Okay.
let's bring up more maybe fun, happy road stories. And actually, I want to know what is the second craziest thing that you guys have seen on the road? Because I think we know what the first craziest is. Which how many years ago is that? With you guys see a bear eating a moose on the side of the road? Jesus. Is that 2016?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because it would have been the OLP.
So nothing's going to beat that. So what's the second craziest thing that you've seen on the road?
Like wildlife-wise?
Anything. Breakdowns, traffic, huge traffic problems, snowstorms.
Sure hope they don't say a death.
Yeah, we saw a tornado once when we were driving, and we were listening to the radio, and Riders on the Storm was on. And we look, and it was like storming like crazy. And we look over to our right, and we're like, "There's a fucking tornado!" Like right there.
Holy shit!
Cow.
Another Alberta story.
Yeah, that was Alberta.
It was right outside of Medicine Hat.
Damn.
It was insane. And what was funny about that too is that we were actually driving in the wrong direction of where we were supposed to be going.
3 hours the wrong way.
3 hours.
And it was
like, wait a minute.
The tornado was a sign.
Oh
For
my
that
God.
one, I had to lay down. I had heat stroke. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, it was insane. That was probably the craziest, the second craziest thing.
Tornadoes, bears eating moose. You guys see a lot.
Yeah, you mentioned it, you alluded to it earlier, and it'll be a couple weeks before we drop this episode. But tell us about this charity event at Revolution that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, Make Music Matter. So we were approached by Neil Sanderson about this because he's on the board of directors that puts this whole thing together. And I believe they're entirely based out of Toronto. But they have people from all over the world. So what they do is they have like this healing and harmony program, and they have offices all over the world where they tie in music therapy, but they disguise it through actual therapy for trauma victims, like victims of war, victims of rape, poverty, like just really deep, dark stuff. So when people are in these hospitals, they also go through this music program. And they find these people who have like this artistic ability and this sense of music, and they actually put them through a full program of being an artist. So they get to record music, work with producers, songwriters, and it completely transforms their lives. And then they get accepted back into their communities, and like they build the community and just this whole cycle of healing through music. And it's such a beautiful thing. And they're in so many countries now. It's amazing. But all this money is being raised to help that.
And I think in some ways, like even where music has shifted and stuff, like we've seen similar things of like punk rock and shit. Like that started from people going through a lot of traumatic things in their lives and connecting to a sound. So being able to like nurture these people in being artists, they're also bringing forward a voice that's going to connect that with other people that have gone through the same sort of stuff, and then not so these other people don't feel alone. Like they feel that connection, and music has that power. So it's really interesting, the layers of it and how it can really be effective. And so it was a great experience, and we're really, really proud and happy to work with such an incredible team behind it. And that was our first performance in together like that since. So it's like a year and a half. First time for us to really kind of like get out there and play in front of new people.
Yeah, a lot of the people working the production of the room hadn't seen a live show yet, so we were kind of like their first concert.
Yeah,
I was like, oh yeah, I kind of forgot. Like,
yeah, and we like Alan Cross is a part of it too. We were talking with him like prior, and like he was just, I was chatting with him and he was talking about how he just misses guitar. And like it's been a while for these people too. So the vibe of the whole experience, everyone was just like really buzzing and feeling great about it and stuff. And so it was amazing. It was amazing, and I really hope that we're able to raise a bunch of money to be able to really help this cause, because I think it's something very special that can speak volumes through music to help victims of trauma.
Yeah, even here on a level in Canada too, which is great. Like they're starting a new office in Canada, like an actual headquarters to heal trauma victims in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
What an amazing evolution of music therapy. I'd never considered it going to that level of, helping people, truly take their trauma and their relief or their therapy into the creative process like that. That's amazing.
Yeah, they like put them out internationally, like the records that they do with these people. It's nuts. We have 2 vinyls here, actually. We're gonna put them on tomorrow, but yeah, it's really cool. And we got to work with some pretty crazy people, like David Bottrill. He's the head of Make Music Matter board right now, and he's an insane producer. Like he's 3-time Grammy winner. Like he's done all of Johnny's favorite records. Like it's pretty crazy to see
a lot of them. I have a lot of favorite records.
One for every week. But he did all the Tool records and like just some insane stories. He's
super pro. So the sound, what we were able to work with him is just that he was so dialed into us and like our releases and stuff too. So he really dialed those sounds back into the live performance. So it sounds so close to the record or the records in many ways. So he was incredible to work with.
It was amazing.
And how'd you guys get involved with that project?
Yeah, so that was through Neil because he's on the board and he had asked if we could be a part of it. So we were happy to help with such a great cause.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of artists coming up. I think they've announced a few already. Like what was the super group? So it's Cone from Sum 41 and Ian from Billy Talent. They're doing a song together, or a few songs together. And then the Trues came in. Like we were all in the studio at the same time, passing each other, going in and out because we all have our scheduled times. We're like, oh my God, hey. It was so good to see those people. So I can't wait to see those episodes too, because I think we're the first episode. Okay. So it's us and Neil does a song on piano that was so beautifully written.
Yeah.
And then I saw a special guest in there too today. So I won't say who it is, but I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think they did a really, really good job. We kind of watched sort of a little bit of a first draft thing today, and like we thought it was really good. And Darcy, who was the founder, tells this beautiful story, like goes into more detail about specifics on like this one specific story is just like very, very touching, the difference that they made.
Yeah.
So it's great. And it's like $15 for a ticket and all the proceeds go towards the charity. So everybody's just donating their time. Like David donated his time, like all the musicians involved just donating time and stuff just to be a part of something special like this and make a difference. So if you got friends out there and you want to help this charity, $15.
Make music. That kind of makes me value music education more, is seeing it become such a relevant part of people's journeys after, later on in their lives, right? Like I gotta assume, were you guys band nerds in school?
I was.
Yeah, I had a feeling. You were in the percussion section, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually got cut from the band.
Weren't you on tuba? I think you played tuba.
I was on tuba for music class, and then I was like bass guitar, and
bass guitar in band.
Yeah, and then I got cut like for jazz, like the jazz bass guitar. But I was kind of an outsider. Like I had like my high school bands and stuff.
Yeah.
I had a band in like elementary school. And we would just like mess around, and like I didn't really like school all that much. So my band nerd was me not being in school and playing with a band in the garage.
Did you play an instrument?
I was just gonna say, did you have band trips? Like, did you guys have like
We did actually. Our school band used to compete at Canada's Wonderland for like.
So did I.
Okay.
Those were
Really?
fun. Those were fun days. Yeah.
They shut down the whole park for the competition.
Yeah, it was amazing. Just like
hundreds
of band nerds and funnel cake and you know,
kids puking.
Yep.
We did. Ours did a trip to Disneyland, so that was probably my number one. That was my number one reason for joining band.
You went to Disneyland.
We went to Disneyland.
Didsbury
High School, and same thing. We competed. Actually, Didsbury High School had a really, really good band program.
What were you playing?
I was a percussionist as well.
Okay. Well, yeah, but what were you playing?
Well, I did. So, and we had marching band. So I did like the big stand up, because I was the biggest guy. So, here, let's just put this on you.
Yeah.
But timpani and all that.
What were you hoping he'd say? Like xylophone?
Triangle.
Well, I mean,
I did do a mean triangle.
I don't know. I didn't know Pete
Washboard.
that's what I was saying. I didn't know Pete's musical instrument history.
I do not have much musical ability, but I could bang on things pretty okay. Enough to get to Disneyland.
What were you playing in your high school percussion section?
Me, everything.
Yeah.
We all rotated because no one wanted to get stuck on one thing. So
yeah, of course.
There was just 4 of us.
Damn. Pete went to Disneyland to compete.
I know. I feel cheated.
In a concert band. That's amazing.
That is pretty
I
amazing.
didn't know that stuff happened.
That's nuts.
I should have stayed in school more.
I did go to Cuba with my high school jazz band. So.
That's huge.
Yeah.
You guys had epic trips.
Yeah, that was a fun time.
I think the only time we crossed the border was for art, and we went to New York, and that was huge.
That sounds awesome. Well, you guys, I mean, how do they do it in Alberta? Because did your kids go to Quebec?
Ethan went on a Quebec trip, but it wasn't a.
Did you guys did like a grade 8 Quebec trip where you grew up? Yeah. So
I guess I would have been grade 8 out to Quebec. Where did you go?
Quebec City and Montreal.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's like a pretty easy drive for us.
I was just going to say not far of a jaunt for you.
In
but
Alberta,
that's right.
They up fly them out, right?
They flew out. Yeah, I think they spent a couple of days in Ottawa and then Montreal and then Quebec City was his grade 8 trip. My kids have been lucky. He got to do that. And then I think at grade 10 went to New York with their drama program.
Awesome.
And then my daughter on a science project or a science trip went to Florida and they went to NASA and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so cool.
We've been pretty lucky.
That is so amazing.
Things have changed.
Man, we have to have kids so I can start chaperoning.
The best band story we had though is we had a band exchange with kids in Merritt, BC. And so this would have been grade 10, 11, probably grade 11-ish. So these kids from Merritt, BC came out and we decided to show them a real good Alberta time. So I'm sure bush parties, you guys bush parties in Ontario at all? I guess it's probably maybe a little tricky to find. Yeah. Okay. Sure. So, anyways, we have this bush party, and it's at an old farmyard with an old barn and a bunch of hay bales, big round hay bales that have been there forever, and everything goes up in smoke that night. It got so crazy. There was probably about 350 kids that came from all over the small towns, and somehow these bales got lit, and it was just like dominoes. The bales lit on fire all the way over to this old barn. Barn goes up, and that was the end of...
the barn?
The barn went up. It was an abandoned barn. It was an old abandoned barn. But they didn't do any band exchange trips after that.
Yeah. No more sending high school kids out to Didsbury.
It was enough of that.
That is outrageous. That is outrageous.
How guilty do you feel about that?
None?
The importance of music education.
The importance of music. Back to the point. The importance of music education. Be careful. You might burn down a barn.
I did see, and I wanted to ask you about it, but I think one of you had posted about that Dan Auerbach Dr. John doc that they announced like a week or two ago.
I'm so excited.
They didn't actually put a trailer. Did you hear about this?
No.
Yeah, from Black Keys. He's produced a Dr. John documentary, which is coming out, and I'm very, very excited for that.
Yeah, because he did the last Dr. John record, right?
Oh, I had no idea. Really?
Oh, it's so good.
I got to check that out.
It's so good. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's perfect. I can't wait for this.
I think it was the last one. He might have released one.
Well, he passed away shortly after, didn't he? I can't remember.
I went through a phase probably about a year ago. I watched that old HBO show Treme, which is all about, like, it's partly about the music scene in New Orleans after Katrina. and Dr. John is a pretty prominent figure in that show. And I probably spent like a solid month listening to nothing but New Orleans jazz and funk, and it was incredible. So good.
I just love his mix of like voodoo in there.
Yes.
Like, it's so cool.
Yeah, Dr. John, he's incredible. Like, just, he's so unique. I don't know anybody that's like, I can't pin him up against anybody else.
No.
As far as a writer, artist, like.
No, he's very unique.
And
he like, I don't know what's his whole thing. He's like, it's like a witch doctor sort of like craziness. Like
means like voodoo.
And then what was that Muppet character that was based
Oh yeah,
off?
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, right.
What's his name again?
Dr. Teeth.
Dr. Teeth. Yeah. That's right.
Piano player.
Yeah.
Damn, I never even connected
Dr.
those
John.
dots. Yeah, that's incredible.
Has anybody been watching the McCartney Rick Rubin documentary? Have you guys checked that out?
No, where is it?
I threw it on last night and sort of like half asleep, was like burning through it. And it like some of the stuff was really, really cool. But I don't want to say this.
I was like burning through the dock or burning through
that because it's a series, right?
Right.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, I was digging it. I thought it was pretty cool to hear the mixes that way, and like them kind of like really pushing stuff forward and bringing stuff back, and the storytelling and stuff.
Just kind of nice to see those two different minds, both brilliant in their own rights, kind of going through those. Like, I mean, none of the information that came out is really anything new. I don't know that we could ever possibly discover anything about the Beatles that we don't know already.
I'd heard the opposite because Ruben was on Mark Maron's podcast this week, and Maron kind of, I'm going to butcher this, but alludes to McCartney is kind of like an amusement park of memories and factoids now. And you think that you've heard every single one of them, but somehow Rick managed to pull a few gems that no one's ever seen before. So that tempts me.
Well, I've still got 2 episodes to go yet, so maybe it's in those 2.
You know everything?
Oh, I wouldn't say I know everything, but I got a pretty decent knowledge of.
That's true. That can't be argued. What were you going to say? Come on, Johnny. What were you going to say that you didn't want to say?
No, it's not. It's not worth saying.
Fine.
It would just get me in trouble. It's not worth it.
Well,
you can't say anything nice. Don't say anything at all.
Fair enough. So speaking of things we're watching, we were DMing the other day about I Think You Should Leave. And I wanted to ask if now that you've finished, your record, are you guys going to start writing soundtrack music for the upcoming Crashmore movie?
I would love to.
I think
oh my God, that's
shit. It's just like once it's revealed that he's Santa Claus, then you go back to the beginning of it all and start to watch it again, and you're like, if you lived in a world where this was like true and this was really like Santa Claus exists and he is like this.
And it's him.
Yeah. What is it talking about? Getting paid $2 million even if he does a bad job.
Yeah.
Santa Claus.
Talking about how he sees.
I've seen every cock on the planet, I think you said.
Yeah, I've seen every cock on the planet. Well, I've seen everybody naked to see if they have tattoos.
That's a voice
The tattoos are bad behavior. But then you see
in the first year, though, right? Is that what he says?
Skits are like, his movie's like, fuck you, you suck.
That's what I want to see.
Tattoo is bad behavior.
That was actually his first message, right?
Yeah. For the uninitiated, the context is that it's basically like a John Wick movie, but you don't truly know why he has this vendetta against these criminals. So he's just going in, guns blazing, saying, "You fucking suck." It's fucking hilarious.
This is Santa going in?
Yeah, but you don't know it's Santa.
But you don't know it's Santa until the end.
It's his acting career,
it's
right?
Santa.
Yeah.
It's Santa, but he wants to be an actor now.
Okay. I like it.
So the interview process too, they started off and they were like, they say his name like Santa Claus or whatever, and they say something about Christmas.
Man who needs no introduction.
She does the Billy Bob Thornton.
Takes his like fucking mic off and shit, stands up, he's ready to walk out. And he told them not to mention Christmas.
Yeah. I find that the ones I like the most are the ones that get really sad. Like the skit with Bob Odenkirk was like one of the funniest, but the saddest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I forgot.
It kills me.
The winking that's happening
in the restaurant.
Oh fuck! Or when he goes into the mall to play the prank and he's just wearing that suit. Yeah. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
I'm in.
I don't even want to be around anymore. What do you mean when you're wearing that suit? And his vest is so choice. The choice of the small vest in that suit. It's like
it was terrifying. He looked terrifying.
It was
reminded me of Jackass or like Grandpa or Bad Grandpa or something, like when they do like the transformation and like an elderly person, but they did it so badly.
It's the worst.
Well, I think you guys should just start writing Crash more soundtrack tunes and then just force it. Just
done.
You guys are ready. You guys are ready to go.
You'd only be so lucky to write soundtracks for Santa Claus.
I'm trying to figure.
That'll be our Christmas album.
Oh yeah, you need a Christmas album.
Oh shit.
I'm trying to figure out, Renee, between writing and recording the greatest album that we're ever going to possibly hear and watching the show, how do you get any studying in?
Oh, it's been crazy. Actually, that's why I had to postpone the first one, because I had to like delay some assignments and stuff. So it's been nuts, but I just feel like I'm in it now and I just want to get my diploma and just get back on the road. So I'm going to finish it.
It's amazing. Like to do, like her passion for this is incredible. And I think it's always good to like explore different passions.
Oh, hell yeah.
It keeps us fresh on different ideas and different things, and it's like so to have this time, I'm super proud of what she's achieving with this. It's awesome.
Is it something that you've always wanted to do, and then the pandemic just kind of gave you a little bit of the time to do it, or?
No, not really. Like I like plants. I don't know. I just like botany and just like the environment. I've always been like kind of an environmental activist on the side. I don't really vocally do a whole lot. Like we focus more on like Sea Shepherd and stuff, but I still don't like to be too much on that side because I don't like alienating people or making people feel like crap. I think now is the time to not do that to the people. So
yeah,
I just want to be more on the side of what more can I do or what more can I learn about to do better by me, basically. So I had a lot of time on my hands, and now like I'm in over my head, but
that's
going into it, I was like, this is awesome. This is easy. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. It's not even fun.
You also
come sit down. Let's put on some I Think You Should Leave.
You also, is that pretty new with your ProMark partnership or?
Yeah. So, well, I used to use ProMark in the past, but just like, because I would see other drummers use it. They were actually the first stick brand I ever picked up. Okay. And then my first endorsement was Silver Fox, and they were a company out of Boston. But they ended up getting sold, and then the guy just tanked the company. So I was slowly running out of sticks, and I just had the supply for a long time. And so I had been bouncing back and forth with all these different companies, not like endorsement wise, but just trying different sticks. And I was very particular about, because that's like, it's how it feels in your hands. And when you play, like every stick's different. It's hard to explain. Some are tacky, some have nothing, some are long, some are not. That could describe so many things. But so eventually I got a thing from Diodario. So we're with Diodario, which kind of is ProMark's in that umbrella. And they're not far from us, actually. So I got like a little blast out of an email about ProMark going full sustainable. So now they literally grow the trees that they're using for sticks and regrow the trees. And So it's not like they're just clear cutting forests anymore. So I was like, all right. I picked up the phone. I called Larry. I'm like, I'm in. Let's do this. Let's make this official. So it was very cool. And I'm happy to be a part of the family. It's such an enormous company, and the support is global. So yeah.
Congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah. And with them being fully sustainable, like that's a match made in heaven right there.
Oh, I know. I was like, okay, this is obviously a calling. I'm going to just jump on this because this is perfect. And I went in and researched right after that, and no other stick company is doing that.
So, and I'm curious, like, where are they growing these trees?
Well, I think they're all American based. So I'm not entirely sure. I read the whole thing, and I dove in a little deeper, and then I was just like, yeah, okay, this is great. But I'm not entirely sure where they're cutting or growing from, but I'll look into that for you.
That's awesome.
Well, listen, we really appreciate you guys taking some time with us. It's honestly always a pleasure hanging out and chatting with you both.
I know. I wish it was in person.
Yeah. We're gonna get there. It'll happen.
Yes.
All right. Anything else you want to add?
No. You guys are amazing.
Yeah.
Can't wait to do this in person again.
Right.
Yeah, it was really awesome seeing you guys. Yeah, keep in touch if you're in the area and you have free time.
For sure. Stay cool.
We'll do the same.
All right.
You too.
Peace.
See you guys.
All right.
Thanks,
Have
guys.
a good night.
Bye.
Yeah, as we mentioned before we got going, just great people.
Yep.
They're just absolutely delightful to be around and with. And
Did you check out that TV show? You check out that Netflix show?
I haven't yet, but I promise I am going to.
You got to check it out. Put it on for the family. Actually, don't do that.
My son knew about it right away.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
We'll get on it.
Yeah, check that out and check out the Standstills. They've got that charity thing coming up, actually.
Yeah.
You might be able to catch that now with Revolution Studios.
And then they've got the Rock the Hub in Truro coming up momentarily. And getting things fired back up. And they'll have some washboard for us, some air washboarding to do.
Yeah, man, that sounds like a lot of fun. You should start playing the washboard.
I've always wanted to. As you know, I don't play anything.
Master bass drum player, as it turns out.
The big bass drum. I wish I could play something, but maybe the
washboard.
Maybe the washboard is it. That could be my calling.
Or just play classical guitar so you can grow out those nasty nails. Like nasty long nails.
I'll do it.
No offense to anyone out there. What do we got? We got
one thing that we haven't talked about before, and I didn't really realize it made a difference, but obviously everything you can do to help support the show makes a difference, but leaving Facebook reviews, which I didn't realize. We talk a lot about getting into the algorithms with Facebook, but the more positive reviews your page gets, again, that helps. Facebook reviews.
That's a thing?
100%.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So Facebook reviews, iTunes
for sure.
ratings.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yelp, TripAdvisor.
So we have to start setting up accounts as a business.
I guess, yeah.
Rate and review.
Subscribe is
like
huge.
And subscribe on YouTube. And I don't know. Let us know if anything cool is happening.
We appreciate it. We really love the support.
Tell me about your cool bathrooms.
And they probably have some speakers in those bathrooms that they're playing some new jams
on. If you're not listening to podcasts or music on the toilet, then I don't know. What are you still reading?
What's the point?
It's gross.
Done.
Anyways, thanks to the Standstills. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Tourism Red Deer, Sawback Brewing, Go Services Inc., Bose Barn Stage, producers Ryan and Ryley. And,
Communal Creative Studios in Red Deer.
When are we going to see you next? Peter Michaels?
Just a couple of days from now, I do believe. We've got many more episodes to come.
But what about the next time? Huh?
The next time?
God damn it! Say it!
I'm not gonna. It's yours.
It's Wednesday.
The Road, the Stage is produced by Ryan Kuly and Ryley Surian, recorded in Red Deer, Alberta, and in partnership with Bose Bar and Stage, Troubled Monk, and Tourism Red Deer. The Road, the Stage.